All right, folks, we welcome you back to the Friday edition of the Steve Malzberg Show, and we are about to be joined momentarily, I presume, by our good friend. He, of course, is Dr. David Samadi. You watch him on the Fox News channel on House Calls every Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. with my friend Eric Shawn. Everybody's my friend. I don't want to fall into that, you know. I think there was, they just did, like, Jon Stewart just did a montage of somebody where they introduced guest after guest. I think it was Joe, Morning Joe, wherever. Chris Christie, he's our friend, my good friend, our friend. I don't want to fall into that trap, but but David Samadi and I go back a while. Anyway, he's also chairman of Urology and chief of Robotic Surgery at Lenox Hill Hospital, right here in New York City. Got a lot of interesting stuff to talk to him about, including this amazing headline that I saw on FoxNews.com. Scientists find treatment to kill every kind of cancer tumor. Now, you see a headline like that, and my goodness, something like that obviously would revolutionize, medicine and everything else. And then there's another story we're going to talk about with him about how anti-anxiety drugs are tied to higher mortality. Now, it's very specific. It's medications like Valium and Xanax and sleep aids like Ambien, Sonata, Lunesta, comparing them with 70,000 people or so. So we'll talk to him about all of that. And then the CDC is now prepared to assist in the Ebola outbreak. The Ebola virus is breaking out. Well, it's in Guinea, and it's killed 63 people in Africa. I think it is now spread to a third country in Africa, if I'm not mistaken. So we will get his opinion on the Ebola virus, actually find out exactly what Ebola is, and if there's, God forbid, any danger of that spreading even further within Africa and to the rest of the world. So all that, and get this story. And there's only been a few cases of this. I've often wondered, I have a dog who I've had for 9 years, and I had a cat, which I had for, I don't know, about 7-8 years prior to getting my dog. And I always wondered, and I'd read stories that cats in particular can transmit disease to humans, and humans could give their disease or their colds to their animals, and I always wondered about that connection. And now there's a story that even though it's the first recorded time ever, and there's only a couple of them, pet cats can infect humans with TB, with tuberculosis. I'm telling you, all these stories are making my head spin. So that's why I'm anxiously awaiting the arrival of one Dr. David Samadi, and hopefully we will get him. And if we can't get him on Skype, the thing to do would be to get him on the phone, but as long as we get him. Anyway, this story, the first ever recorded cat to human transmission. 2 people in England have contracted tuberculosis from pet cats thought to have ventured into badger sets. 2 people in England got it after contact with pets. The 2 human cases are linked to 9 cases of an infection in cats in Berkshire and Hampshire in Great Britain, according to Public Health England, which is PHE, don't you know? And all right, we're joined right now by Dr. David Samadi. Hey, Doc, how are you, sir? Happy? Are you feeling better, I hope, sir?
How are you?
Happy? Are you feeling better, I hope, sir?
Oh, my goodness. This, and you know something? This flu, I'm not sure exactly what type of virus we're getting this year, but it hit me really hard. I was better for 5-6 days, and then just when you think you're feeling better, it hits you again, and it goes for about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, I've had a lot of my patients that have come back who haven't been exposed to me, but they're going through a similar thing. I was at Fox, and some of the anchors also have gone. So it's a really widespread bug. I don't know if you heard about it or not, but it's a very tough one, and nothing works.
Chad, our producer here, he's more than a producer. I don't have his exact title in my head, but he left here on Tuesday. I actually left here Monday. He went home. he's within 1 day of, God forbid, going to the hospital because he hasn't eaten anything in 3 or 4 days, and he's flat on his back, and the medicine isn't working. They told him he has the flu and an upper respiratory. That came out of nowhere. Now, no one else in the office, thank God, has it, but now I'm getting worried.
It hits you completely out of the blue. I was doing just fine. I was doing my surgeries, and you start getting this fever and chills and upper respiratory. Certainly antibiotics doesn't work. I ended up with IV fluid, and it really weakens your system. So, you know, the other discussion is what these flu vaccines that we're getting every year, how effective are they, how good the technology is, and what percent they can predict. And certainly in my case, it didn't work. And so we'll see what happens. But I'm better now, back to work, and really appreciate being healthy. It's amazing.
Unfortunately, but let me ask you about this story, because this is a knock you out headline from FoxNews.com from last week. Scientists find treatment to kill every kind of cancer tumor. I mean, should we take any encouragement from that? Does that mean we're that much closer to curing cancer, or is this just kind of a little misleading headline?
No, you know something? This is part of the research, obviously. And what they're talking about is that this protein CD47, and they have found a way to block the protein. This is still in a mice study. It's a clinical trial. The question when it comes with cancer is, you know, all the stuff that we do, whether it's surgery or radiation, we're taking that organ out. The future of treatment of the cancers is really on the cellular level, meaning like what is the pathway to take a cell and convert it into a cancerous one, and how can we fight it? And so by knowing the proteins that feeds off these cells and blocking them, you would be able to really slow down and then cure people. So it's a step forward. It's not really there for prime time yet, but it's a big news in the cancer field. And that's what I love about your program, is that you're bringing the latest medical news every Friday, and that's the exciting part. This got a lot of important news out there, so that's why we're talking about it. But we'll see how it's going to, you know, come into the human clinical trial.
And of course, you know, any cure for any disease that has been found, the precursor is doing it on animals first. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, explain to us, because some have forgotten, because we've heard of the term Ebola virus, not for a while. Now it's rearing its ugly head in parts of Africa. I think a third country now has reported cases. The CDC is active in combating it and fighting it over there. What exactly is Ebola, and could this get out of hand?
Well, this is a very rare virus. It's also extremely contagious. It causes a lot of GI symptoms. Now what they're seeing is that in the area of Zaire and also in New Guinea, they're basically having like 63 people in Africa. So do you see the dry cough?
Yeah. You don't have to prove it to us, Doc.
Yeah. So CDC right now is really like looking into this, and they're concerned because of all the travels that goes on between Africa and U.S. They want to make sure that this virus is not really getting here. So the outbreak, it's mostly in Africa, and we're all watching it very carefully. It can be passed from person to person through the body fluid. And unfortunately, once you have it, it's extremely contagious, and you would have a lot of GI symptoms and fever.
All right, well, Doc,
and
let's hope for the best that they nip it in the bud. Listen, we'll watch you. You take care of yourself. We'll watch you Sunday morning on Fox News Channel, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Oh. All right, give me the time. We got to go. What's the time?
Maria.
All right, give me the time. We got to go. What's the time?
12:30 now.
Okay. All right, Dr. David Samadi, ladies and gentlemen.